Hello and welcome back to the Snarky and the Suburbs podcast. Today I have a letter that is going to just make you go yuck, and it's called The Creepy Camper. It scared me. It scared me. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Then in my beef, you know what? I'm trying to be cool and use beef because everyone says I've got a beef now. But actually, as soon as I said beef, I'm thinking I just need to go back to peeve. It's a classic. I'm going to stick with peeve. I have a peeve, and it's about, are you ready for this? Happy people. I do not trust someone that is always happy. I'm sorry. Nor, honestly, do I like a person that's always happy. Yeah, we're going to go deep on that. And then I have a snarky confession about the time I tried to do a workplace coup. I'm going to tell you right now, the coup failed. But I was in the right by trying to do this coup. All right, let's get started with the letter so we can just all go, oh my God, how dumb are people? Apparently really dumb. Okay, here we go. The camp creeper or creepy camper or camp creep. All of those work. I'm going in. Okay, Dear Snarky, I'm in a situation where I'm being told I'm overreacting, and I know I'm 100% not overreacting. My boyfriend loves nature and camping and all that stuff. He's part of a camping club where fellow campers meet and share best places to camp and hikes they've been on and talk about camping gear. It's all great. I love it. Recently, though, he's made friends with a guy who is so creepy it makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. We went out to dinner with this guy and his girlfriend a couple of weeks ago, and I had bad feelings the whole time. Now, they've invited us to go on a weekend camping trip with them, and I told my boyfriend that's a no for me because we really don't know anything about them, and when you go into the mountains with someone, you should have a certain level of trust. Then I told my boyfriend that both the guy and his girlfriend gave off bad vibes, and there was no way I was going anywhere that was not in a public setting with them. My boyfriend is now accusing me of being a drama queen and watching too many Datelines, and he's really mad at me. This pisses me off for a lot of reasons, mainly because he's dismissing my feelings, and it seems to me that he's not that concerned about our safety. How do I educate him on the facts that bad things happen and listening to your feelings isn't being dramatic? It's being safe. Signed, my boyfriend needs a lesson in safety. Well, hell yeah, he certainly does. I have so many problems with this. But I'm just going to start with the fact that as a woman, you need to always listen to your gut. Men, they aren't always constantly thinking about their safety. My daughter, all women are constantly thinking about your safety. You drive to the Trader Joe's. Where can I park? That guy just sitting in his car looks creepy. I'm not going to park there. I'm going to park over here. Everything we do, we're always thinking about our safety. Men, you know what? They have the luxury of not having their personal safety occupy their brain 24/7. Now, that doesn't mean that a guy shouldn't want to keep a woman safe. So I'm just going to tell you straight out, do not marry this guy. If you tell him these people are creepy and I don't feel safe, he should be like, okay, we're not going to go camping. Because your safety should be paramount to him, not trying to diminish your feelings by saying that you watch too many Datelines. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And anytime I have not listened to my gut and followed my gut, I've regretted it. I 100% have regretted it. My gut has never let me down. And women also have like a very honed safety alarm. And we listen to that alarm. Don't let someone tell you not to listen to your safety alarm that you've honed over years on being on planet Earth. When the little alarm goes off, ding, 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 we listen to it. And if we don't listen to it, or we dismiss it, or let other people dismiss it, we are doing so at our own peril. So this guy you're dating could not be more wrong. And I'm telling you, if you get creepy feelings, to the extent that the hair is standing up on the back of your neck, honey, you are 100% correct. Now, if this was me, this is what I would do. I would find out this guy's name, like make sure you know his whole name, his girlfriend's name, and I would just do the most basic of Google searches and see what comes up because I would want to know about him. Also, and this is just me, I would enter his name into like a crime database. There's a lot of them you can do. You can do your like county courts. There's stuff you can do. I'd want to find out about him because I would also be worried about my boyfriend's safety. And why would a couple you haven't known that long want to go off into the mountains with you? To kill you, that's why. Okay, no, could be exaggerating there, but I've listened to Park Predators. I think it's an offshoot of Dateline. I'm not sure. No, it's not. But one summer I listened to Park Predators, and now every time I go on a hike, oh my God. If I was a 10 before, I'm now 100. I am now 100. My head is on swivel. So, no. The only people I would camp with is someone that I had known a really long time. Let's go through facts. You're alone. You're out in the wilderness. No one can hear you scream. There's wild animals. I would not want to be out there unless I 100% trusted the people I was out there with. So no way would I go with two people that made me feel creepy, and no way should your boyfriend try to discount your feelings. So I'm suggesting, oh God, I can't get over Park Predators. I just can't. That is so freaking scary. Do you know the number one place serial killers hide? Campgrounds, the woods, state parks, national parks. Beware, people. Beware. It is a serial killer hunting ground. Again, I could be exaggerating, but I'm not. So what I want you to do is you need to sit your boyfriend down, and you need to let him know about your gut feelings, how you listen to those feelings, how as a woman all you're doing 24/7 is thinking about your personal safety. It's not all you're doing, but it is part of your day, every day. Safety, safety, safety. And that you don't appreciate him dismissing your feelings, and you also don't appreciate him not putting your safety, if not first, making it paramount. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I'd go in full force. And if he is still like, oh, you're just so dramatic, you need to dump this guy because your safety alarm should be going off. Ding, 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 ding. That I don't want to be stuck with somebody that doesn't listen to me when I'm talking and that is not putting my safety first. I mean, that's horrible. So that's absolutely horrible. But again, just for your own curiosity, I'd get on the internet and start looking up that guy and see what you can find. Because you want to know. You want to know. And let me tell you something else because I'm not done yet. Okay, my husband is super, super nice. I'm not. That's why we make such a good couple. He loves everyone, trusts everyone. He would never, put my safety in peril. But every time that we've had a little disagreement, like even someone he's worked with, I go, I don't know. I'll meet him. I go, I don't know. I don't trust that guy. Or I don't trust that woman. I don't know. I'm getting a bad feeling about it. Every time that he's tried to tell me, oh my God, you think that about everybody, I've been right. Every single time he's pushed back, I've been right. And I'm going to give him props because he always says, yeah, you were right about that person. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Maybe next time you'll listen. Most of the time he listens to me, but sometimes he's just like, oh, this guy's great. Why don't you like him? I'm like, no, I just don't. Or I wouldn't trust him. Always right. And I think most women are. Like I said earlier, we have this honed sense of, good, evil, right, wrong, creepy guy, danger. Yeah, we've got it all. So that's my long-winded way of saying you know what you need to do. Sit down, have a conversation, try to educate him. If he dismisses it, dump him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people love camping. I could never do it. I love hiking. I love all that stuff. But spending an overnight in a tent on the earth? No. Like ground, not, planet Earth. We all spend the night on Earth. Except those poor astronauts that finally made it back from the space station. Can you imagine being told you were going for 8 days? I think was it 8 months? I could not. No. And they're so positive about it. Maybe that woman that was so positive and that guy, maybe they're on my peeve list because they seemed happy all the time. Enough about that. But anyways, have a talk with your boyfriend. If he doesn't listen to you, you need to give him the old boot, okay? Tell him, congratulations, you're solo camping now. But you're right. Someone's creeping you out. They're a creep. Okay, now let's go to my peeve. I have a post-it note on my peeve so I can explain it more fully to you. Now, if you're thinking, oh my God, your peeve is happy people, what is wrong with you? No, nothing's wrong with me. Happy people are wrong. Something is wrong with them. I think we all have that one person in our life, or have known that one person, that no matter what's happening, they're happy. They're happy. You know, you could tell them a story. Well, this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll try to turn it around. Oh my God, that's a good thing. It's a lesson. You learn, you grow. And you just want to reach out and beat them because you're thinking, no, I'm telling you the story of what happened. And this is what I need from you as a quote, unquote friend, is you to tell me, we're going to hunt that person down. We're going to let him have it. We're going to teach him a lesson. You know, we're going to go after him, baby. We're going to have justice. I don't want to hear like, oh my God, that's so great. It's a life lesson and you learned it early and that is so fantastic because you can grow up. No. I don't want to hear that. So happy people really annoy me. They scare me and I'm concerned for their mental health. Because here's the deal. If someone is always happy, always smiling, always whistling, always have a little spring in their step, okay? I have to ask myself, does this person have zero deep thoughts? Because if you have deep thoughts, if you think long and hard about something, okay, you're not always going to be happy because the world is full of a bunch of scary stuff, a bunch of sad stuff. So if you have deep thoughts just about society in general, you're not going to come out of that deep thought like, la, 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 la. No, you're not. You're going to come out of that deep thought being, oh my God. Oh, and maybe formulating an action plan or something. I don't know, but you're not going to come out of a deep thought super happy. Unless the deep thought is, how great you are. And then you'll be like, yeah, I am great. And you would be happy. But people that's terminally happy, no, scary. Because I think as humans, we need to have deep thoughts. It's really, really important. We can't just live life on a surface level. It's frightening. Okay. And then if I meet someone that's always happy, I have to think to myself, are they willfully ignorant? Do they not read the news? Are they not tuned into other people's feelings and emotions? Are they not tuned into the suffering of other people? Are they willfully ignorant so they can just always be happy? And that's horrible. That is horrible to live your life in such a way that you don't want to know about other people, don't really care enough about other people or society in general to entertain sad thoughts. So I'm not a fan of willful ignorance about anything. Nothing. Ask my kids, they'll let you know. Mama has no patience for that. So, and this is another thought I have about people that are always happy. These people I'm going to call sadness shamers, because the people that are always happy, that always try to just have a smile on their face, pride themselves. They're sadness shamers, because if you go to them and having a great day, no, really, I'm not. This happened. Not that I'm a Debbie Downer at all. And they are like, just smiling and making you almost feel bad that you not only had a bad day, but that you told them about your bad day because they're happy all the time. So, yeah, they're sadness shamers because they're never sad. So they don't want you to be sad. And you do not burden them with any sadness. Even like, oh, I got cut off in traffic. It was horrible. People suck. You don't burden them with that because they are always happy. And these are a variety of reasons why a person who is always happy, and they have to be pretending most of the time, because I think that would be impossible to always be happy or, not irritated or just thinking the best of people. I'm going to go after this. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to McDonald's and get a Diet Coke. And I guarantee you, in that very short drive, something will irk me. I will find it irksome. Okay? Perennial happy people, they don't allow that to happen because they want to be happy. And I'm just telling you, it's an act. It's a fakery. It's a fakery. But yet they're being sadness shamers. They're making us feel bad. They're always trying to find the positive in things. And there are many things that you are not going to find the positive in. These are also the same people, 99.9% of the time, that if something really horrific happens, They will tell you that God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. I cannot tell you how much I hate when someone says that. I hate it. And, and we'll take something that's tragic and, try to make it positive. Sometimes you just have to sit in the tragedy and the unhappiness of things and not try to sugarcoat it or, try to make it better. You just have to sit with it and acknowledge it. So people that are perennial happy, you're peeving me. You are a peeve. So I want to know what y'all think. That is not to say I'm a Debbie Downer, but I'm just telling you, you need to acknowledge your emotions. You need to sit with your emotions, and it's okay to have a variety of emotions. And if you're honest, if you've met someone or is friends with someone that is always happy, you have to be thinking, are they okay? Because that's not good. That is not good. We as humans were built to have a variety of emotions, not always to be happy. So I'm going to leave you with that. That was not a deep thought, was it? I was trying to be profound. I missed the bucket. 100%. Okay, now let's go to my confession from the Snarky Confessional. A couple people have said they hate when I do that, and I'm just going to do it more. Sorry. It brings me pleasure to whisper into a microphone, and people's dislike of that cannot stop me from pursuing that pleasure. Okay, y'all. This is a good one. This is a story my mother remembered on her deathbed. Okay, so this was in, let's say, I don't want to say the late 90s. I wrote it down. This was probably in, I don't know, the early 2000s. So there I was, a television news anchor. Yeah, it's another career story. You heard some of them, you're going to hear more, okay? So there was a morning anchor, that did the morning news. There was like the noon and 5 o'clock one. And then there was the evening anchor, 6 and 10 or wherever you live, 7, 11. And then there was a weekend anchor that were women. We were all teamed up with men. So there were 4 of us. And as you may or may not know, like TV stations bring in consultants, and what they do is just basically rip you a new one and tell you that you're ugly, there's all these things that you need to change about your appearance, your clothes suck. I mean, it's awful. It is awful. You just have to brace yourself because they're going to start coming for you. So, and usually it's a tag team. It's a man and a woman, so no one thinks, I guess, they're being ganged up on. So this one particular visit from the consultants, first they, look at like all your tapes and stuff like that, or they're like, watch you anchor. And then they have like their list of critiques. I would avidly listen to the critiques about like your anchoring. But the problem is, you're you, so you can only change so much of your personality. So, but I would, I take notes. That stuff I am taking to heart. But then when they start in with your appearance, I'll listen to some of that, but when it gets ridiculous, like wearing a wig because your hair's so bad, excuse me. I have good hair, people. Even better then because I was young and fabulous. I had many, many more follicles back in the early aughts. So, okay, the 2000s being called the aughts, I love that, and I think I sound, I don't know, smarter when I say early aughts. Anyways, but back to me and my hair. It was good. It was good hair. So there's News Barbie, and she's like the devil. She's the devil. It's always an older woman. She's always got on stilettos, and just always blonde hair, kind of a helmet hair looking action. And what I would say is too much makeup. But I guess she looks good if she's about to go on air with all that makeup. So she's the one, then the guy just sits back, once they critique your news ability, and then it goes to your looks, the guy, he sits back. So she just with such pleasure ripped into you about everything about you. It would start with your part. So it would start at the tippy top of your head and go down to your shoes. No one sees your freaking shoes. You're behind an anchor desk, but I didn't stop her. So I was told that I needed to wear a wig because I didn't do big hair. It's the early aughts. You weren't doing big hair back then, but this was also Texas, so they like that big hair. To this day, they like that big hair. And she's like, well, I see a wig in your future. Because like, I don't think I can do that. I mean, I have a lot of hair, but I'm not, I'm not back combing it or whatever that is, teasing or whatever. She's like, well, then I see a wig in your future. And I'm like, oh, I see something in your future. And I'm going to tell you right now where I'd be putting that wig. Thought it, didn't say it, of course. Then my eyebrows were too big. They wanted to send me to some, I don't know, plucking guru that could pluck all your eyebrows out for you. Thanks, but no thanks on that. Then your makeup, which those, you can listen to those critiques, but I wasn't going to wear all that makeup. I was going to wear a lot of makeup, but I wasn't going to wear that much makeup because, TV lights. To your neck, like, do you have a fat neck? To your chin, what kind of chin you have? This woman hated my square face. I have a square face. She hated it. I would go like, what do you want me to do? Break my cheekbones and reform it? I mean, come on. It's not happening. To your clothes, all that kind of stuff. It was so freaking bad. It was so freaking bad. Then this woman tells me, she gets really close to me and she says, your problem is, now people, this is the early aughts. I'm still a youngish woman, okay? She tells me right in my face and she goes, your problem is you look like Barbara Bush. I'm like, excuse me? Barbara Bush? By that time, I don't know, is she in her 80s? What is she, like, and I'm talking Barbara Bush, who was the president's wife. I wrote it down in the 90s. I mean, she was the wife of the 41st president. Bush won. I look like Barbara Bush. Let me remind you what Barbara Bush looked like. She had like beautiful gray hair, okay? Little gray hair, gorgeous blue eyes, okay? But there was nothing about me, like I'm not even, 40 yet, in my 30s, that I resembled the lovely Barbara Bush. And she just went off on me how I reminded her of Barbara Bush. And I'm like, well, thank you. Okay, I mean, what do you say to that? You don't want to, diss a president's wife. And she's like, you don't get it. And I'm like, oh, I don't get it. So then she just railed, like I looked like old and old-fashioned, and I guess I wore pearls. It was a scene. And I didn't feel like I was picked on because she was doing this. There was 4 women. She was doing this to all 4 women. Not that I was in the room for that, but then we would compare notes, and I'm just like, I had to wear a wig. She wanted me to wear a wig. And of course, she told everybody they should be wearing a wig. Oh. So it was bad. But then I said, yeah, she said it like Barbara Bush. And everybody was like, what the hell? So I was so confounded by the Barbara Bush thing, had to call my mom. I go, yeah, Mom, so this woman told me that I look like Barbara Bush. My mom starts laughing, I think, for a solid 5 minutes. She goes, I can't believe someone told you look like Barbara Bush. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. So once again, she starts like a laughing fit, a big fat laughing fit about it. So I decide that this is bullshittery, and I go, we need to organize a coup. Like, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to, we're just going to push back. This is like absolutely ridiculous. We are women. The men just get told to go buy suits and they go suit shopping and get these expensive suits. They don't get reamed. But yeah, the women, they're just reaming us. It's not right. We are doing a coup. We're not doing it. We are not doing it. We'll listen to real critiques about our performance in front of the camera, but this buying a wig stuff and Barbara Bush, we are not standing for it. Okay, the 4 of us, I was the ringleader. Shocker to no one. They all agreed. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I felt fantastic. Going to work 2 days later, after we formed the coup. Then it was the weekend. Come back to work. It's a Monday. My coup has failed. Not only has my coup failed, but those 3 women that were like, we were a team, betrayed me, like ratted me out to the news director. And I was like, oh, crap. So he goes, Sherry, I'd like to see you in my office. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go in there and he's like, yeah, you're getting everybody all riled up. You're saying all this stuff. You know how much they pay for these consultants to come in here. If they say you're doing something, you're doing it. So then I just looked him straight in the eye and I'm like, sir, that woman told me I look like Barbara Bush. This was in Texas. He had a Dr. Pepper. Leans back in his chair, takes a sip of his Dr. Pepper, and he's like, what? I go, she told me I look like Barbara Bush. And he's like, shakes his head. He goes, you don't have to do anything she says. He goes, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I go, and she told all 4 of us we need to wear wigs. Takes another sip of his Dr. Pepper and it's like, that's some crazy bullshit there. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Pretend none of that happened. Just don't do it. And I go, well, how about the other 3 girls or, women that, we're all in this together, or at least I thought he was. He's like, let's not worry about them. So yes, my news director got me off the hook with the whole Barbara Bush thing. And the other 3 girls, well, one did end up wearing a wig. She was a rule follower. I don't think the other 2 did. I never wore a wig. And to this day, as you know, I can't get over the fact that I was told I looked like Barbara Bush. But my mother was sick. She got sick and then went really fast. So she did not, it wasn't a long thing at all. I mean, like a week. I'm with her. She's in a lot of pain. She looks up at me and she says, remember that time when that woman told you looked like Barbara Bush? And in all her pain, she still emits a small cackle, like a cackle of laughter. And I'm like, oh my God. Loved my mama so much. Loved her. But yeah. And whenever I see pictures of Barbara Bush, who those piercing blue eyes, gorgeous white hair, I think, do I look like that? I don't think so. So anyways, that's my story. That's my confession. So please note, if you ever see a picture of Barbara Bush, you can think, wow, does Sherry look like Barbara Bush? And you'll say no. Also, just say no to consultants that are mean to the people they're consulting with. I'm not kidding. I can't get over this. I'm going to shut up. But the men, hand to God, went out and got really nice suits. All we got is a conference room getting told we suck. Still bitter. Okay, this bitter gal is signing off. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Thank you very much. As you know, I've got books. There'll be a link in the little show description. Click on that. It will take you to the Snarky book universe. You guys, these books are funny. You're going to love them. They're chock full of stories that I know you're going to love. Go make that happen. Buy a Snarky book. But thank you for your reviews and comments. I love it. Have a fabulous day. Take care.